Welcome everyone back to the Pobby and Us channel. If you are new around here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. It does help the channel out. You've been really good at doing that. So it takes 3 seconds. So go and smash that like as well. Give it a share to a mate as well. And we're here today to look at the POM Australian. So what we're doing here is we've played a specific game. So what we've done is we've gone through all their data. What we tried to do is weight it. So in the defensive section, it's weighted towards trying to alleviate the stats. So obviously, if you're a crap club, Jerry McGovern's featured quite a lot. Obviously, you're hemorrhaging inside 50, so your stats are going to look a bit better. So we tried to do that, and we tried to break the players down into roles as well, which to try and create a balanced side. So we'll go through what the stats were. So some of the stats are heavily favoured as well for certain positions, but each one will have about 20 stats. And what we've done is we've taken the top 5 from all of them statistical categories, blind, right? And then we've basically ranked them 1 to whatever. So the 5 main stats, 5 times 5 is 25. There'll be 25 players per position. And then we've ranked them 1 to 25 in their key stats and the others, but put more weight on that. So we've actually doubled their scores and the lesser ranked stats to try and create a balanced thing. So it sounds complicated, but I think I've nailed it because I actually like this All-Australian team. So let's get into it. So the first one is every side plays an intercept defender. So what are we looking from here? Well, the heavily weighted stats are intercept possessions, meters gained per disposal, pure marks, effective kicks, and one-on-one win percentage. So there was a lot of names in here. Tom Stewart. Some players will double up in the categories. So you will get some key forwards in here. Jeremy McGovern featured in here. Players like that. Josh Battle. Big shout out to him as well. Harris Andrews. Players like that. But let's get into it. Our first POM Australian is James Sicily. And I thought this was a no-brainer here because even though he plays for a side that does have quite a few inside 50s against, pure interceptor, gets attacks going, real highly ranked in all sorts of things like score involvement, score launches from the back half of the ground. Nice and easy. Then we go to the key position player, right? So you can see here, defense/attack. And then you've got another one, key position defender, obviously more lockdown defensive role. Now, we've put them at fullback and centre-half back. You could argue that's it. But what we've done is we've just tried to make it a little bit simpler on the system. So here, what we're looking at, what are we looking at? Well, we're looking at obviously important metrics. So we're looking at intercept possession, intercept marks, your spoils, disposals to turnovers, 1%ers, one-on-one win ratio. So the first key defender is Harris Andrews of the Brisbane Football Club. I think that's a no-brainer for me. Like, I know people try and toy it with the idea of Jeremy McGovern and stuff, but for me, there is 2 clear defenders in the league who are the best. So at fullback, we've got him with a little bit more attacking flair. So you look a lot at the back half score launches now, particularly the transition. It comes fullback. We're looking at Harris Andrews there. And because most of the sides play their most dangerous player at centre-half back and the centre-half forward, we've got to go with our more defensive one. Up next, a versatile defender. So these are really interesting stats. So we're looking here at ground ball gets, meters gained, defensive half pressure acts, disposals, turnovers, and tackles are their ones. Some good players featuring here as well. Nick Newman, Dan Rioli, Luke Ryan is in there as well. Connor Iden, players like that. You know, the players, Mason Redmond, players, Dan Houston, players like that we're really looking at. And the versatile defender is Luke Ryan. His ability to play high. Obviously, the lesser stats in here, he ranks high, meters gained, score involvement percentage, all these things. So that's a real strong back 3 there. A real strong. Now, this is where it gets exciting. We're up to the half-back line. So the defence attack, we're looking here at meters gained, disposals per clanger, score involvement percentage, ground balls, and scores, intercept possessions. And Dane Zorko here scores really high. He's been really strong in the all year, really, from just really taking over that role that Daniel Rich played. So real strong there. We've got a real attacking guy with some defensive minded. Now, Up next, the key position player. So very similar to the key position play we just did, but there's more owners here on clangers. So the least clangers, disposals to turnovers, 101 win percentage, 1%ers, and spoils. So we're looking for a real strong defender and pretty much ranking number one for all of them metrics that we looked at, Jacob Weeterim. Centre half back, real strong player there. I don't think anyone can argue that, even the opposition fans. So far we've got Sicily, Andrews, Ryan, Zorka. And now we come up to my favourite position, transition attack. So what we're looking here is meters gained per touch, score involvement percentage, ground ball gets, intercepts possessions, and disposals before a clanger. And there was a clear winner here, Jack Sinclair. For me, one of the best halfback transition type players in the league, can play higher up the ground as well. Some real good shouts here. Sam Flanders playing wing, back half. Nas Milwera, he's moved down there. Quite a few players you could pick here. Nick Blakey was probably stiff, probably because he floats so much in his position, but that's a real strong team. Up next, the Bull. The Bull is really important. Inside midfielder, someone who is incredibly strong. He's going to win lots of contested ball. We'll look at contested possessions, clearances, score launches, pressure acts, score involvements. Now, because there's usually a lot of midfielders, we've tried to specify this to proper inside midfielders who are a little bit tough, right? So we're looking here for more the general of the midfield. And there was only one winner here, Cripps, really. And you could argue, is this one? There was players that have scored quite high, though. Elliot Yo, who plays that role. Matt Rowell scored quite high as well. Tom Green, as you would expect. A few players as well really fluctuating in all these categories. But Patrick Cripps is up next. So far, we've got a real strong team. The back six is sorted. We've got a Cripper. And in next, the mid attacker. And that was Nick Dacos. And here you're looking at score involvement percentage, pressure acts, clearances, contested possessions. It might surprise some people. The second most contested possession player in the league is Nick Dacos. One of them fallacies that he doesn't get the hard ball. But I don't think you can argue that Nick Dacos would be in here. I mean, already Cripps and Nick Dacos in there. We've got that dynamic type player. We've got Cripps feeding the ball out to him. That's really strong. Sam Walsh featured quite high in here. Caleb Sarong did. Lockie Neal. You name it, they were there. And up next, my favourite position, the wing. And this is the one that probably took the hardest to do. There was a lot here. So we've got meters gained per touch, score involvements, I-50s, kicking percentage, pressure acts. And then we've also looked at all the heat maps of all the midfield players to make sure that they have played sustainably on the wing. We don't want players that play inside and float out there on half forward. Errol Goulden is the best winger in there, and you can't argue it as well. Spends a lot of time on the wing. It's like over 50%. So Errol Goulden, shadow of a doubt, two-way runner, lot of running in him on the wing. Up next, the ruck and the other wing. Josh Kelly joins that other wing. He featured quite highly, a real shift from being more of that central midfielder to more out wide, slotting across half forward and the wing. And Brodie Grundy, obviously with Ruckman, we're looking at the key metrics, the ruck metrics that you all know. Score launches, hits out wins, clearances, tackles, score involvement percentage. Grundy ranks incredibly high. And up next, the Bull attacking type player. So very similar to the Bull midfielder, but we're looking at more of a weighting on attacking stats, score involvement, score assists, goals, and Marcus Bontempelli joins that. So already we've got a real strong side. And then we go to mid attack. So what we're looking here is we're looking at someone that can get the inside 50s, the goal assists, the marks, the ground ball baguettes, the goals, and the score involvement percentages. And this was a really interesting one, this. Chad Warner. So Chad Warner slots across half forward. And this is probably where you could say when you're doing data, you've got to maybe statistically cheat. Because if you did it just as a traditional high half forward, players like Dustin Martin would feature quite high if you're just judging them on their attacking metrics. You've also got to bring them into their ability to conduit in there. And then key forward up next. My favourite one to do, because you know who's coming here. And obviously here you're looking at goals, one-on-one offensive stats, marks on lead, goal assists, score involvement percentage. And this is, we've got to try and weight this from teams scoring a lot of goals, getting a lot inside 50s. So you'll see how we've done this. But Charlie Curnow joins that. And then we're looking for a link man. So very similar to what we're looking for half forward, but more onus here on midfield play and passages. And here we got Isaac Heaney. So this is almost the half forward line that you see for about 43% of the Sydney game plan. So no surprise there that they are probably the best from midfield to the forward in the league. That Sydney have a big flavour here, mid to forward half. And then the goals, kicking, small forwards. These are really, really important. We're looking here for score involvement percentage. Goal assists, forward 50 ground ball gets, tackles, goals. That's where the heavy weighting is. First one, this might surprise some people. Jack Higgins, ranking number 1 for pure goal, small goal, kicking forwards, score involvement percentage, goal assists. Second for forward 50 ground ball gets. Real strong little competitor there. And the next key forward, we've talked about Charlie Curnow, Jake Waterman. No surprise here. He's playing for a team that hardly gets it inside 50 and banging them in. And joining Higgins, who did rank quite high in the link as well, Dylan Moore of the Hawthorn Football Club. So that's the starting 18, right? So now we come to the bench, the defensive versatile player. So this is someone that we're looking at that wasn't in the category of intercept defenders and keys. We wanted someone that was more of like a mid-defender type player. Onus here on efficiency, the defensive stats, the tackles, the defensive half pressure particularly, his meters gained. So we're looking for a well-rounded player. And this might surprise people here, but ranked number 1 in a staggering one of their metrics of people that didn't have a defined role. Nick Newman joins there, especially with one of the lowest flux scores we've seen, which is how his average goes against what he really does. He's probably one of the more pure median type players. So I'm really happy with that selection. I don't think many people can argue it as well. Up next to mid-forward. So what we're looking for here is someone that was in that mid-forward category. So we have included wingers here. We have included the half forwards. We tried to find someone that is versatile to be on the bench, and that's Toby Green. His year has been brilliant, and he featured quite high when we did midfield and high half forwards, when we did small forwards. A guy who's really a licorice all sorts type player. So Toby Green joins that. The other ruck, no surprise here, Max Gorm. We know it doesn't work in real life, Gordon Grundy, but you had to have another ruckman in here because midfielders are so heavily linked. I think it's so easy for that. I wanted to have that. And then you've got a small link player, and that was Isaac Rankine, and the mid-forward being Harry Sheasel. So we've tried to find another Isaac Heaney here, someone that can play midfield and be very versatile with the last one. And obviously we wanted another player who could pinch hit in the midfield. So that is our rival to Dan Hoynes and all the AFL pundits there. But that's what we've done using our algorithm. Let me know what you think in there. I think that's pretty good, to be honest. I don't think that's far off. I think maybe Nick Newman might not feature there because it's dependent on how you search the roles. I tried to keep this as a balanced team, as if you're trying to do, like what they do in the EPL, actually have people who play them positions. Let me know what you think in the comments. Peace, love, and light. Pom out.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad.